What's going on, guys? Make sure you check down in the description below so that you can find out how to get entered in my Road to 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I had said on some previous videos that we were going to try to do it on October 8th, and that is not going to work out. So we're going to do it on Friday, October 15th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is official. That's when it's going down. We're going to give away a ton of stuff. So be on the lookout. I'll put some videos out to kind of explain exactly how it's going to work and how everything's going to go, but it will be October the 15th. Also, if you like comic book mystery boxes, check down in the description below, and you can find out how to buy a SmallTown Collectibles comic book mystery box. Also, a discount code with Street Level Hero LA, where you'll get 10% off your order and raise some money for a great cause. It is another beautiful day here in the hills of Eastern Kentucky, and it's Tuesday. It's time for first appearances and key issues for the greatest day of the week. New Comic Book Day, October 6th, 2021. So let's get started. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. So before we get into talking about all the first appearances, the key issues, the covers, all the cool books coming out this week, if you haven't already, hit that subscription button, turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content, smash that like button, and leave a comment below and let me know what books you're looking at this week, what books are you reading. I say it every week. I want this video in particular to be a conversation between myself and the community about the new books that are coming out and what you guys are reading. So hopefully this list will help you make some choices. So let's get into it, and let's start with our covers. So I only have a couple of covers this week, and the first one is Amazing Spider-Man number 75, the variant cover by Patrick Gleason. Now, the Gleason covers were really popular. I think it was Spider-Man 50 that had the negative space, kind of side profile of Spidey. This has kind of got like a straight-on look of the mask, almost made up of like a spider web, with a web coming down and a spider kind of hanging out at the bottom of it. So I think this one's dope. I really dig that cover, and I'm excited for this new creative team to be on Spider-Man. I know Patrick Gleason's going to be a big part of that, and this is a good way to start off with this variant cover. And then the only other cover I have this week is Moon Knight number 1, the New York Comic Con variant, cover by John Tyler Christopher. This book is limited to 2,500 copies. It's the New York Comic Con exclusive, as I said, and it is a negative space variant. Now, I didn't look to see, I'm sure this is sold out wherever it was being sold, and this will be a hard book to get on the secondary market, without paying a pretty penny. But I still dig the cover. I've really been digging Moon Knight, and I am not a guy that had really ever read Moon Knight before, but I'm really digging this current run. And I like the negative space variant, so I think this one's a really cool cover. And hopefully you're lucky enough to grab one. So with the covers out of the way, let's jump into our second prints this week. And there was only one second print that I could find. And it's not a book that I'm reading, but it was the only one I could find. And I didn't want this category to, have nothing. So I'm going to tell you about it. And that is Echo Lands number 1, cover C, second print, cover by Williams. So yeah, Echo Lands, not a book I'm reading. If you're reading it, let me know in the comments below if it's good and if it's maybe something I should check out. The cover's pretty wicked for this second print for number 1. So yeah, that was the only one I can find, and I looked really hard and I could not find any others. I'm sure I missed something, but anyway, that is the only second prints this week. So if you dig those and you dig Echo Lands, that's coming out this week. So let's jump into our key issues for the week, and then let's talk first about some of the books that are coming out that I'm not necessarily going to highlight here, but books that I'm reading and that I'm kind of excited about this week. So Last Flight Out number 2 and Lucky Devil number 3 from Dark Horse. I dug both of those books thus far. From DC, Swamp Thing number 8 is out this week. One of my favorite reads right now. Absolutely love Swamp Thing. From Image, you get The Me You Love in the Dark, number 3, which has been a cool title. And then from Aftershock, Almost American, number 3 is out. Really dug the first 2 issues of that book, but I'm kind of a sucker for a true story, so I really dig that. And then from Vault, The Last Book You'll Ever Read, number 3, has been a fun title thus far, and I can't wait to check out this one. All right, so that's it as far as those books are concerned. Let's jump into DC. And I've only got 3 this week as far as key issues from DC. And the first one, of course, is Nice House on the Lake #5. Feel like you got to spotlight that book every week. It has been such a phenomenal read from Tinian, and I cannot wait. Like, when it comes out, it'll be the first book I read. So I can't wait to read Nice House on the Lake #5 this week. Then you got kind of a cool issue, and I don't know if this is new, but it's from the DC Horror, I guess, title. You know, you got DC Black Label, regular DC. This is from DC Horror, and it says DC Horror presents Soul Plumber #1. This is a 6-issue limited series about a disgraced seminary student who builds a pirated soul plumber machine to save damned souls from Satan, but winds up summoning something much worse than a demon. So for those of you out there that are horror fans, I think this sounds like kind of a fun title. DC's done a really, really nice job with their horror stuff. Like I was mentioning before, Nice House on the Lake. They've just done a nice job with that. So I'm kind of interested in checking this one out. It's a definite pickup for me. And if that's something that sounds interesting to you, maybe you'll want to grab too. And then wrapping up DC is Wonder Woman 80th Anniversary 100-page Super Spectacular #1. Now this is a one-shot, of course, and it kind of goes back and gives the history of Wonder Woman. There will be a bunch of different stories in it. It's not something that I'm going to pick up, but I do kind of like these. Like the Green Arrow one that came out was good. The Aquaman one was good. So I wanted to mention that the Wonder Woman was out this week. And if that's something you're into, Wonder Woman, or you like these one-shot spectaculars, definitely check it out. And then jumping over to Marvel, we've got Amazing Spider-Man #75. As I mentioned when I was talking about the covers, this is where the new creative team kind of takes over, and they're going to publish this book 3 times monthly. The new creative team is made up of Kelly Thompson, Zeb Wells, Saladin Ahmed, Cody Ziegler, and the artist Patrick Gleason. And in this new story, Ben Reilly becomes the focal point of the series. So interested to see, the Nick Spencer run was just boring. Like, it wasn't awful, but it was just kind of boring. And the Kindred thing just kept on and on and on and on. And so I kind of got bored with it. So I'm looking forward to this new creative team on Spider-Man, and hopefully the title definitely picks up. Then we've got Dark Ages #2, where you've got a cover appearance of Miles Morales with the Venom Carnage hybrid symbiote. The first one was great, and I'm not necessarily a big Miles fan or even a big Venom/Carnage fan, but the first one was good. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting, and I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Then you've got Deadpool, Black, White, and Blood #3, and I wanted to highlight this one because you have a story by Stan Saki, who does Usagi Yojimbo, of how Deadpool acquired his swords. So I think that could be fun if you're a Deadpool fan. You also get 2 additional stories included in this anthology series. Then we have Eternals, Celestials #1. This is the origin of the Eternals and a potential new origin that ties into the Avengers 1,000,000 BCE. And wrapping up the key issues this week from Marvel, Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters #5. This is part 5 of the 5-part crossover series. So this is finally coming to an end. I dropped this some time ago. It got boring for me, and I was really, really excited about this, but it just got boring to me, so I dropped it. But yeah, the wrap up to this series is coming out this week, and if you're a Star Wars fan, go check it out. Now, let's jump over into our indies, and our first book this week is White #4 from Black Mask. Of course, White has been hot on the secondary market because of its limited print run. I read the first 3 issues. I just didn't like it, so I'm not going to pick this one up. But if you're digging that series, #4 is out this week. Then we've got Marvel Action Origins #4 from IDW, and this is the origin of Miles Morales for younger readers. And I've said this before with the Hulk and with Spidey. I think this is cool. You want younger readers to get into these characters, and having a book specifically for them about the most popular characters today, I think is awesome. So yeah, if you have a kid and you're trying to get them into books, this may be a good one to grab. Then we've got Righteous Thirst for Vengeance #1 from Image. And I really like the cover on this one and the synopsis. And I'm going to read the synopsis on the rest of these just so that you kind of know what they are. So Righteous Thirst for Vengeance #1 is when an unassuming man stumbles upon a dark web contract assassin's vicious plot to kill an innocent target. He turns himself into one. The professional meets road to perdition in this story of a family's unlikely guardian being hunted by rich and powerful men who are used to getting away with everything. I think that sounds cool. I love The Professional. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I also like The Road to Perdition. Put those two together and you've got a title that I'm going to want to read. So Righteous Thirst for Vengeance #1 out this week from Image. Then from Blue Juice Comics, we have Billy the Kit #1. This is not a book that I'll be reading, but I wanted to put it on here if you're kind of into this type of title. And the synopsis is introducing Billy the Kit, featuring a gunslinging rabbit seeking revenge against the tornado god that killed his family. Why was this sickly, skinny rabbit spared such a gruesome fate? What makes him so special? With the help of Luther the Goat, a profanity-spewing martial arts master, I don't know, that could be fun, Billy relies on faith, magical firearms, and kung fu to wage war against the pagan gods and monsters of a bygone era. So, like I said, that's not necessarily for me. I'm not really into the titles with like the rabbits and things like that. Outside of a profanity-spewing goat, Luther the Goat, that could be fun, I guess. So that's Billy the Kit #1 from Blue Juice Comics. Then from Second Sight Publishing, we've got Chess Masters #1. And then the synopsis on this one reads, in the 25th century, society has finally emerged as a civilized population. No more wars, illness, hunger, or racial hatred. However, the evil pawn master has seen this as an opportunity to control the weak and has been using his 8 royal pawns to wreak havoc throughout the city. Conversely, the government has put together an extraordinary team of individuals known as the chess masters to battle against this corruption and oppressiveness. So that sounds like it could be fun. Chess Masters #1, I'm definitely going to give this one a read, at least give the cover. I may read it online before I decide to actually purchase the floppy, but Chess Masters #1 sounds like it could be fun. If I was picking an indie book of the week, this would be it, and that's Chicken Devil #1. It's a regular guy who owns a chain of hot chicken restaurants, is an unlikely vigilante to battle the mob, but the Chicken Devil may be the right hero for the job. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. I like, mob type stories, fighting back against the mob. I enjoy those. Nice little twist with the chicken angle. So yeah, I'm definitely going to check this one out, and that's Chicken Devil #1. Another kind of fun title, I think, Oni Press's Dirtbag Rapture #1. And I don't know, I just think this is funny as a synopsis. She's stoned, she's selfish, she's all that stands between us and the end of the world. Where do you go when you die? Kat, a stoner with a flexible moral code, can answer that, and the answer is not very far. Unfortunately for Kat's peace of mind, a near-death experience has left her with the ability to see and hear ghosts, as well as take them into her mindscape so she can bring them to locations of their choosing, essentially playing transporter to the deceased. But when Kat discovers she's the key to a demonic plan to screw up the whole world, she is forced to take an active role in the battle between good and evil, and she is not thrilled about it. So that sounds like it could be fun, a stoner trying to save the world. So that's Dirtbag Rapture #1 from Oni Press. Then you have from Action Lab Entertainment, Hath No Fury #1. Hath No Fury is a fantasy story about 2 powerful women, each leaders of their people, who are forced into an unlikely alliance to save thousands from depredations of a vicious tyrant. Thrown into an unfamiliar world and beset by dangers both magical and mundane, Freya and Yatzel will have to learn to cooperate to survive. So Hath No Fury #1 from Action Lab Entertainments. Then from Heavy Metal, we've got Intrusion #1. After being cast out of Canada, the Laguerre family is trying to build a new life in a cursed Louisiana swamp in 1766. They fight to defend their homestead, even if that puts them on a collision course with a creature that dwells in the bayou. So again, I like heavy metal books most of the time. Again, probably a book I'll read online just to check out, but heavy metal books are usually pretty fun. So Intrusion #1 from them this week. Then we get another one from Second Sight Publishing, Menagerie #1. When a research outpost on the edge of the galaxy is captured, a team of lethal space operators heeds the call to rescue the who's who of civilian scientists and researchers. But personal secrets and unexpected agendas bubble to the surface, and a mutiny sends the rescue mission light years off course to a new and unusual planet with unusual rules. So again, Could be another fun read, probably another online read for me, but something I'm definitely probably going to check out. And then wrapping it up, pretty excited about this one. And this is from Artists, Writers, and Artisans, and it's called Out Number One. In the waning days of World War II, with the Allies advancing, a desperate Nazi officer unearths an ancient force of evil that he hopes will turn the tide of battle, a vampire. To test the powers of his secret weapon, he unleashes the monster on an unexpected group of Allied POWs. It's up to Nakana, a Comanche language expert, to communicate with the vampire to find out what he really wants. So I like these war stories, and then kind of a vampire story too, and a vampire as like a secret weapon in the war. I don't know, just to me that sounds like it would be fun. And so Out Number One from Artists, Writers, and Artisans this week is a definite pickup for me, and maybe one that you want to check out as well. That wraps up the indie books for this week. A lot of indie titles, a lot of number ones this week from the indie publishers. A lot of good books, I think, that'll be fun to read, and who knows, it could be something big going down the road. All right, with all the key issues out of the way, let's jump into our first appearances, and we do have a few this week. From DC, Arkham City, The Order of the World number 1, you get the first appearance of Jocasta Joy. You also get the first team appearance of the Arkhamites, a group of escaped patients from Arkham Asylum. Another Batman title, Batman The Adventures Continue, Season 2, number 5, where you get the first appearance of Mayor Emerson Mayfield. Then you've got Darkhold Alpha number 1 from Marvel, and this is the first team appearance of Darkhold Defiled. Then another Marvel title, Defenders number 3, where we get the first appearance of Moradun. And then wrapping up the first appearances this week are Star Wars The High Republic Trail of Shadows number 1, where you get the first appearance of Cian Holt, a private detective, first appearance of Emmerich Catafor, a Jedi Knight, and the first appearance of Arathab. So that's it. That wraps up the first appearances, the key issues, the covers, all those things this week. Thank you guys so much for taking a little bit of your time and coming and hanging out on my channel. I hope this list helps you with some of your choices on New Comic Book Day. Maybe there's some books that you didn't know were coming out that you know now. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great New Comic Book Day. Remember to subscribe, like, turn on the notification bell, all those good things. Have the best New Comic Book Day ever. I know I'm going to have a good one. And as I always end these things, until next time.